Yeah, I'm coming.
Can you go ahead and mute your... Perfect. Good morning. Gonna let you all come on in and begin to find a seat on your mat. And as you find your seat, go ahead and just scooch some of the flesh out from under your sit bones. So you can really get grounded with a nice straight spine. Tailbone drops down. Shoulders drop down away from the ears, drawing the shoulder blades in slightly towards each other on your back. Gently tucking your lower abdominals in. And then just allowing your chin just to drop slightly towards your chest as the crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. And you can rest your hands either palms down or palms up on your knees. And allowing your eyes to close for a few breaths here as we center. As you begin to turn your attention inward, once you begin to draw your breath in and out through your nose. We're going to begin to activate the Ujjayi breath, or the victory breath. This is the breath in and out through the nose, but she'll begin to sip the air as if you were sipping through a straw. So you begin to hear the sound of your breath as it travels in and out, like the ocean. And gently allowing your eyes to open. Taking your right hand and dropping it beside your hip on the mat. You're going to extend that left arm up, reaching the fingertips toward the sky, palm of your hand facing the right side of the room. From this nice elongated spine, you're going to begin to fold towards the side. And getting to get some length in your side body. From here, just gently pressing into that bottom hand to continue to lengthen up as you fold. We're going to do this for a few breaths. On an inhale, lengthening. And exhale, bending a little deeper. Inhale, finding length. And exhale, bending deeper. One more time, inhaling, finding length. And exhale, bending a little deeper. And on your next inhale, coming all the way up. And releasing that left hand to the mat, inhaling the right hand up. Once you've found that nice length in the spine, beginning to find your bend. And then again, we're going to connect the breath to the movement. So lengthening, pressing into that bottom hand as you inhale. And exhale, bending a little deeper. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, deepening. One more time, inhale, lengthening. Exhale, deepening. On your next inhale, coming all the way up and releasing. From here, you're gonna go ahead and come to your hands and your knees. Stacking your knees under your hips. Wrists under shoulders. And we're gonna take just a couple cat-cows. Inhale the tailbone and crown up. And exhaling back. Moving at the pace of your own breath. One more time here. And then coming to neutral spine. I want you to really spread all 5 fingers apart. Pressing the full palm of the hand onto the mat and all 10 fingertips. Then from here, you're gonna make just a slight motion as if you were trying to open the top of a can of anything. Can of pickles. And keeping that rotation, keeping that energetic motion, you're gonna tuck those back toes under and press your hips up and back into down dog. And then for the first couple breaths, we're gonna keep a nice deep bend in the knees. Really elongating through the spine, pressing those hips back and up, gazing back towards your heels, releasing in the neck, and rolling those armpits towards your ears. And then beginning to straighten out each leg, pressing each heel back, one and then the other, pedaling out the legs. And then pressing both heels back. On your next inhale, bending your knees, gazing forward, and walking your feet up to your hands. Exhale, releasing into a forward fold. I'm just taking a couple breaths here. Feeling your feet. Maybe you rock a little bit forward towards the ball of the foot, and then a little bit back towards the heel. And then coming right to center, finding that even weight between the ball of the foot and the heel. And releasing the head and neck. Maybe shaking it yes, shaking it no. And then tucking your tailbone under and beginning to roll up. One vertebra at a time. Meeting at the top, we're going to inhale the arms up and exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling up, and going through our vinyasas now. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, placing the hands and stepping back into high plank. From here, one inhale at the top. And on your exhale, dropping the knees, chest, chin, and pressing through into baby cobra. Drawing those elbows back along your side. And on an exhale, pressing back through child's, and up into down dog. Taking just a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, drawing that right leg up. Exhale, bending the knee and placing it in between the hands. And dropping that back knee to the mat. Top of the foot hits the mat. And then squeezing your heel and knee in towards each other, inhaling up. Anjaneyasana. Bending up the shoulders, drawing that heart forward, gazing up. And exhale, placing the hands, tucking those back toes under, and stepping back into down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, stepping through. Inhaling at the top. Exhale, placing that back knee, top of the foot. And coming up into Anjaneyasana. Bending the elbows, drawing the heart forward. And placing the hands on the mat, tucking those back toes under, and stepping back into down dog. We're gonna run through that vinyasa 2 more times. So inhale, bending the knees, gazing forward. Step or walk your feet to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place hands, step back. Inhale at the top of the plank. Exhale, placing the knees, chest to chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, back through child's into down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through. Inhaling once at the top. And exhale, dropping the knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, placing the hands and stepping back. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, stepping through. One inhale at the top. Exhale, placing the knee and top of the foot. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, placing the hands, stepping back. Inhale, gazing forward. And exhale, walking or floating your feet to your hands. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, we're gonna do one more vinyasa. This time we'll do full chaturanga into up dog. Inhale, up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing your hands and stepping back into high plank. Inhaling at the top. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, straight back, down dog. Inhale, lifting that right leg up. Exhale, stepping through. And this time, instead of dropping that knee down, we're gonna inhale straight up into crescent. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Finding that breath, inhaling and exhaling. Pressing out through that back heel. Drawing the shoulders back and down. Pressing the heart forward. Tucking that tailbone under. One more inhale. And on your exhale, placing the hands and stepping back, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, stepping through. Inhaling up into full crescent. Taking a few breaths here. Take a gaze down. See that you can see your big toe. Double check that your knee is back over the ankle, not falling forward. And pressing out strongly through that back heel. One more inhale. And exhale, placing the hands. Stepping back, down dog. And just taking a few breaths here. Maybe bending in the knees again. Really pressing that tailbone back. We're gonna walk our big toes towards each other. So our feet are really close to each other in this down dog. Then we're gonna take it to one-legged dog. Inhale the right leg up. And begin to extend that left heel down. Squaring those hips off towards the mat. Taking a deep inhale. On your exhale, bringing your knee towards your chest. Inhaling back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale back. And exhale, placing that right foot back to the mat. Inhaling the left foot up. Three-legged dog. Again, you want to work on squaring those hips off so they're parallel to the mat. Pressing strongly through the ball of the foot or the heel. Inhaling. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling back. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhaling back. Exhale, knee to chest. And inhale back. Exhale, releasing the foot to the mat, bringing the big toes together, knees apart, pressing the hips back, child's pose. I'm going to take a few breaths here. Child's pose. On your next inhale, coming forward onto your hands and knees, tucking those back toes under and pressing back into down dog. Bending deeply in the knees, inhaling, gazing forward towards the hands, and stepping or floating your feet to your hands. On an exhale, releasing into that forward fold. Inhaling all the way up, and exhaling, hands to heart. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, we're going to squeeze our thighs together and sit back into chair. I'm going to take a few breaths here, dropping that tailbone down, lifting the chest up, and taking a gaze down to see that you can see your big toes, kind of shifting that weight back towards your heels. Couple more breaths here, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the knees together. And on your next exhale, folding into forward fold. And releasing the head and neck again for a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, pressing into flat back. And exhale, placing the hands and stepping back into high plank. One inhale at the top of the plank, and exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. On your next inhale, drawing that right leg up, and exhale, stepping through to runner's lunge. On your next inhale, we're gonna windmill up and that back foot back into warrior two. So just checking alignment here. Double check that that front heel lines up with the instep of that back foot. Make sure that your knee is at a 90-degree angle, not falling forward over the hip, over the ankle. And then also draw that knee back. So you should be able to see your first two toes on that front foot. And then gazing out over that front hand. And finding that breath. Isometrically drawing your feet towards one another. Strong legs. Not on your next inhale, straightening that front leg, shifting your left hip back and drawing your right side body forward. On an exhale, just dropping that right hand to connect with the right ankle or the ground or the shin, wherever you're at, just not on the knee. And drawing that top hand straight up towards the sky. Maybe you gaze up. Maybe you gaze down towards that bottom foot. I'm just taking a few breaths here in Trikonasana. Rolling that top shoulder open, away from the ear. On your next inhale, rising up through that top hand. And we're gonna do reverse triangle. So bringing those back toes to angle in towards the front of the mat, beginning to rotate those hips forward towards the front of your mat. You're gonna raise that left arm up and exhale, reaching forward and dropping it to the mat. You might need to step forward just a little bit. Just making your adjustments. Then having that right hand in your right hip crease. And just continuing to work those hips towards the front of the mat. Maybe gazing out over your right shoulder, twisted triangle. And placing that right hand on the mat, bending into the front knee, coming up onto the ball of that back foot. You're gonna release that front foot, stepping back into down dog. Taking a couple breaths to reset here. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhale, bending the knee and stepping it through to the hands. Runner's lunge. And swiveling that back heel to the mat. Inhale, coming up into warrior two. From here, you're just gonna do your checks, making sure that front knee is not riding forward over the ankle, and pulling that left knee back so you can see your first two toes. From there, maybe shifting the torso forwards and backwards, and then finding that nice straight torso, crown towards the ceiling, perpendicular to your mat. Gazing out over those front fingertips. And on your next inhale, straightening that front leg, Shifting your right hip back, left side body forward, and dropping that hand to wherever it rests on that front foot, bringing that top hand up towards the ceiling. And drawing that top shoulder back away from your ear. You may gaze down. Maybe you gaze up towards that top hand. On your next inhale, rising up, inching that back foot forward just a little bit, and then really angling those toes towards the front of your mat. You begin to shift your hips towards parallel to the front of your mat. And then raising that right arm, lengthening the spine, and on an exhale, placing that hand onto the mat. With that left hand in that left hip crease, continuing to encourage the hips towards the front of the mat. Maybe you begin to rotate open towards the back of the mat, gazing up over your left shoulder. On your next exhale, placing that left hand onto the mat, twisting that back foot off the mat, bending into the front knee, and stepping back into down dog. Go ahead and walk the big toes together here, knees wide, and press back into child's pose. On your next inhale, coming forward onto your hands and knees, and tucking those toes under, pressing the hips back, down dog. Inhale, bending into the knees, gazing forward. Exhale, stepping or floating your feet to your hands. One full breath here, inhaling and exhaling. And on your next inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. From here, I want you to take a nice wide stance on your mat. If you put your arms out to the side, your feet or ankles should land right about under your wrists. So from this nice wide stance, bring your hands to your hips, and exhale, beginning to fold forward. Once you find your fold, go ahead and place your hands on the mat. And for this one, shifting your weight forward towards the toes just a little bit. Here, go ahead and walk your hands over to your right leg, maybe grabbing onto your right calf. Maybe with one hand, maybe with both. And releasing, walking through center, over to your left. Releasing that left ankle, coming back through center. I want you to take your hands and interlace them behind your back. And just start by drawing your fists down towards your tailbone. From there, you might begin to lift your hands up away from your body, opening the shoulders. Releasing your clasped hands back to your back, uncrossing your fingers, and bringing your hands back to the mat. To begin to heel toe your feet back in towards one another. And when they're about hip distance apart, tucking the tailbone and beginning to roll up. Nice and slow, allowing the head and neck to come up last. And from here, we're going to go into eagle. So, for this balancing pose, I want you to start by just shifting your weight from one foot to the other. And then you come back over to your right foot. You're gonna strengthen that into that quad by drawing that kneecap up, pressing the thigh back. And then checking the foot, feeling that both corners of the ball of the foot and the heel are pressed evenly into the mat. And then we'll begin to lift that left foot up off the mat. Maybe you just grab behind the knee. Maybe you cross that knee over. Maybe you can even tuck those toes behind the calf. And bringing hands to heart center. And beginning to sit back, dropping that tailbone down. And finding a drishti or still point on the wall in front of you. Finding your breath here. On your next inhale, beginning to rise up, releasing that foot and coming back to center. You can release the hands and we're going to set up for the other side. So beginning to shift that weight onto that left foot. All four corners of the foot pressing evenly into the mat. Drawing that left thigh back, kneecap up. And from that nice active leg, beginning to lift the right leg up. Maybe you just grab behind the thigh. Maybe you cross it over. Maybe you even wrap those toes behind. And from there, bringing your hands to heart center. Beginning to drop the tailbone down, sitting back. And finding that still point on the wall in front of you. Drishti. Reconnecting with that breath. As you're ready, slowly beginning to rise up, releasing the foot, and coming back to center. Let's meet again at the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. And on an inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing the hands and stepping back into high plank. Inhale at the top of the plank. And exhale, dropping down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Breathing again here. Maybe you pedal the feet out again. And on your next inhale, I want you to begin to walk the hands back to the feet. Coming into forward fold. From here, you're going to widen your feet to a little bit wider than hips distance apart. You're going to have the toes pointing slightly out. And then beginning to bend into the hips, coming down into Marchanasana or Goddess Squat. Bringing the palms of your hands together, the elbows on the insides of your knees. You might gently begin to press open. Couple more deep breaths here. Continuing to allow that tailbone to drop down towards the mat. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Feeling that deep opening in your hips. And releasing your hands to the mat. And pressing that tailbone back up. And heel toe your feet together. Exhaling into forward fold. From here, I want you to take a deep bend in the knees, allowing your lower belly to just rest against your thighs. Then I want you to grab onto your elbows and just allow your head and neck to hang. And from here, you might begin to just energetically press into your heels, just to find a little bit more length and opening through the back of the legs. Just moving towards being able to straighten those legs. Maybe you bend and straighten with your breath. And exhale, releasing your elbows. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing your hands and stepping back into a high plank. Inhale at the top of the plank. And exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back into down dog. Inhale the right leg up. And exhale, you're gonna step it through, but this time placing the whole shin on the mat. So we're gonna come into pigeon. So I want you to keep that bottom foot flexed. You can begin to roll the hips so they're parallel with the mat. allowing the top of that back foot to rest against the mat. You should probably already feel a stretch here in your hip. But if you're ready, you begin to walk the hands forward, coming down onto the elbows. We're going to be in this pose for a minute. Just taking our time here to find some opening in the hip. A place where we can often store our emotions. Maybe you come a little bit deeper and bring your forehead all the way to the mat, if that's available to you. Wherever that point of stretch is, that place of uncomfortability, I really want you to imagine drawing the breath into that area, into that sharp spot. And with your exhale, just release some of that. So again, with the breath, each inhale, breathing into that tightest spot. And exhale, releasing some of that tension. A few more breaths like that. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. One more breath here, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And beginning to walk your hands back up. You're going to tuck those back toes under, pressing the hips up and back, and releasing that right foot. Just pedaling out here in down dog. Inhaling that left foot up. And exhale, bringing it through and placing it. Again, keeping that left foot very flexed. I'm going to place that right knee on the mat and the top of the right foot. Drawing that left hip down towards the mat. Trying to get nice parallel hips here. You might put your hand on your sacrum just to see that one hip's not drawing up or dropping down. And then releasing both hands to the mat. Beginning to walk forward onto your elbows. And maybe this is where you are. Maybe you're up here. And maybe you're ready to come all the way down, forehead to the mat. We're gonna tap into the same breathing we did on the other side. See if we can find that tight point where the stretch is the sharpest or the most intense. And breathing in through the nose into that space. And with your exhale through your mouth, releasing some of that tension. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And on your next inhale, beginning to walk your hands back, tucking those back toes under, shifting your hips up and stepping back into down dog. And from here, I'm going to have you come down onto your knees and make your way to seated. From seated, we're going to start off in Dandasana. So just scooping a little bit of flush out from under your seat. And drawing those legs forward, heels as strongly as you can towards the front of the room, drawing those toes back towards your forehead. Pressing those thighs down towards the mat. And then just taking both hands just right behind your hips and getting some length in your spine, pressing up your heart forward. Dandasana or staff pose. And then releasing the hands. I want you to take your feet nice and wide. And again, from that nice wide spot, just rolling your thighs under, removing a little flesh from the back. And then we're going to start again by pressing up. Nice straight spine, crown reaches towards the sky. And then reaching both arms up. Exhale, folding forward. And keep those feet flexed. Heels pressing out away from you, toes coming back towards your forehead. Just breathing into the inner thighs here. You can allow your head and neck to relax. On your next inhale, beginning to press up through center. I want you to place your hands under your thighs, drawing your knees in. And then go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together, bringing your heels in towards your body as close as you can, grabbing behind your feet. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Drawing the chest forward through your shoulders, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And from here, you might begin to bend your elbows, pressing your legs open towards the mat, drawing your chest forward towards your feet. And on an exhale, gently releasing. I'm going to straighten our legs. I want you to take the right foot and bend that knee, placing the sole of the foot on the mat over the left leg. And you're going to bring that left hand to right behind the spine, in the center at your tailbone there. You're going to press into the mat, lengthening your spine, and then inhaling that right arm up. And exhale, placing that elbow over in front of that left leg. Or maybe you just wrap. Any variation. We'll just breathe into this twist. On an inhale, I want you to lengthen the spine, pressing into that back hand. And on your exhales, I want you to press a little bit deeper into that elbow, deepening your twist. So inhale, lengthening. Exhale, deepening. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale, deepening. And 1 more breath. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, deepening. And then gently releasing. I'm going to switch the cross of the legs. Keeping that bottom foot flexed. Bringing that right hand to the back now, finding some length in the spine. Inhale, drawing that left arm up. Exhale, hooking it across the right knee. Or simply wrapping. We're going to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen into the twist. And one more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepening into the twist. And then slowly releasing. Uncrossing those legs and then making your way all the way onto your back. If you have a block, I want you to grab the block. And you're going to try and set up the block so that the bottom of the block on its lowest height, short height, to hit kind of right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. And you're going to draw your bottom legs out straight. And begin to lean back. About the crown of your head, a little bit towards the back, should reach the floor. Your shoulders should just melt open over the block. It should feel pretty good. If there's pain, I'd like you to readjust or just lay flat for this pose. We're just going to take a few breaths here, allowing gravity to do the work, opening the heart. As you're ready, I want you to bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Then you're going to press into one elbow or the other and just roll to the side off of your block. Gently pressing up. You can remove that block. And then making your way back onto your back. We're going to do just one short inversion before we make our way into Shavasana. So I want you to tuck your shoulder blades in together under your back, pressing each elbow in close to your sides, pressing them into the mat. You're going to draw your knees in towards your chest and begin to roll up, catching your hips in your hand. You might begin to walk your hands up your spine, drawing your shoulders in. And then bringing the balls of your feet or the heels up towards the ceiling, candlestick. We're going to keep our chin in towards our chest, pressing the back of our head against the mat. I want to make sure that for this pose, you remain gazing forward. Don't turn your neck to the side. As we begin to lower down, we're going to start to shift our feet over our heads, releasing the hands to the mat, and beginning to roll down vertebra by vertebra until our hips come to the mat. And releasing your legs down. Arms falling out away from the sides. Just making your way to Shavasana. Maybe for Shavasana today, you want to bring the soles of your feet together, knees falling open. Just taking the next few minutes to become very present, to be here now. I want you to feel your body, or maybe you've created a little bit more space, or built a little bit more strength in today's practice. Let your eyes begin to relax, releasing any tension or clenching in the jaw. Allowing your tongue to just rest gently against the top of your mouth. Feeling supported by the earth. Seeing any tension that may remain. Just dropping to the back of your body and melting out into the mat. Leaving that here today as you go forward. Fresh, new eyes. If you're in bound angle, I want you to begin to bring your knees together. You're in Shavasana, bringing the soles of your feet to your mat. I want you to draw your knees up towards your chest, giving them a hug in, maybe rocking back and forth across the hips. Maybe making some small circles with the knees. And then grabbing behind the thighs, which do begin to gently roll forward and backward, massaging the spine. You're just going to do this a few times until you gain momentum enough to come all the way up to seated. For the last few moments in seated, I want you to take the awkward cross of the legs. So whatever you would normally do, I want you to put the opposite leg in front. And just settling back in to the seated position. Bringing the palms of your hands together, the base of your thumbs into your heart center. As we move into our day, I'd like to just give you the opportunity to carry with you gratitude. So for the next few breaths, we're going to inhale, gratitude, exhale, thank you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.